Doubles and coffee. I want all you to follow me this morning because Trinidad and Tobago is such a blessed place. The people are so skillful. I mean, in the last week, less than a week, since Saturday, since my daughter's birthday party, I've interacted with people like the people who designed the backdrop for her birthday, her 11th birthday, the skill, the beauty, the precision, the nice value for money. I interacted with a lady who, on last minute notice, made 24 cupcakes for Anaya's schoolmates and so on, and her teachers. And it was just so creative, so efficiently done with a smile. I went in a pro sports store on Mukurapa Road and to get her some equipment, extra stuff, spoiling for her birthday. And the advice, the help, the service, the price, so amazing. Right there at home, they have a man who's so skillful. He does fix the water pump, do gypsum on the roof, change every bulb and put in LED, change my garage into a little tennis court for my daughter. All of this from one skilled Trinbagonian who can handle anything and everything. You interact with people, you go by the double stand, you're getting the most efficient service, the high quality consistency. Trinidad and Tobago is a blessed place. Yesterday, I get a last minute call to be a judge in a debate competition from a young lady who I met at church when I was taking my daughter. Yeah, I never no big church goer, but if my daughter had to go Sunday school, I had to dress up, bathe, put on, smell nice and go to church. And this young lady is now big. That was probably 5-6 years ago. And she said, well, Uncle Anil, come and judge this debate between Providence and Hillview. And it was a joy to listen to these brilliant young Trinbagonians. Talent abounds. We are so full of skill. When you listen to the radio and you're hearing the new soca coming out, the creativity to create new soca every year, the brilliance, the rhythm, the feeling, that is Trinidad and Tobago. But then, you know, I had to often say, in anything, they always have one thing that could spoil it. For example, back when I was training hard at Marlin Swim Club, Jappy Cheaping was the coach, and he used to work with us mornings at Country Club, evenings at Marlin Swim Club, 9-10 sessions a week, hard work, averaging 7,000 to 10,000 meters per day. With Jappy with the big calves shouting at your well-designed workout, you're racing and winning and breaking national records. And just so something had to come and spoil it. Management bring a clown to come and coach me. But you make a decision. That's when I left Marlins because the coach was incompetent, indisciplined, wasn't punctual, was disrespecting the previous coach. But out of that came greatness. Piranha Aquatic Swim Club, the most successful swim club in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. Over 9 different world-ranked top 100 swimmers coming out of there, starting with my younger brother Shastri, who was the baddest. But that's where Piranha Aquatics came from. Because you get rid of the negativity, you get rid of the blight, and you move on. When I was doing my master's at Edinburgh School of Business out of SBCS, part-time, on sport, on TV, radio would sprang along, writing columns, and I had a restaurant. And I went and I signed up. And the principal said, no, Spock. You have to take your time, do 2 modules per semester, meaning 6 months, which would I mean you have to do 11 modules. That would take a minimum of 4 years to finish. People just do that part-time. I said, nah. I have to do it fast because if I get too bored, I'll go stop. So I do 4-4-3, a specialism in public administration. But the last subject I left was finance. Because I am more of a literature, history, business, economics, that kind of geography. Them is my thing. This finance thing. This kind of hard maths, pure maths, that ain't not me. So I gone up in the first class. And everybody knows Spock. It had about 33 people in the class up at Trin City SBCS campus. And every single person over a 3-hour period come and tell me, Spock, I failed this finance last time. I failed it twice. I fail it. Oh God, it's hard. I fail it. Well, boy, I say if I go back that class one more time, I go fail too. So I extricate myself from the negativity of that class. Call my boy Thomas Pantin, who was at that time the CEO of Courts, but he is the most brilliant accounting mind and finance mind that I know. I say, boss man, teach me. And 3 times per week, my brother teach me. And I went and get a B, finished my master's, and well, they called me to be valedictorian, because finishing in 18 months was quite remarkable. Them times 2, 3, 4 years to finish. So I going down fishing and I get a call. This was back in the times 2009. Now on the radio it sprang along, PNM in charge. So follow the story. Mr. Roberts, we want to congratulate you. You're the valedictorian of the class of 2009 Masters Edinburgh School of Business out of Heriot-Watt University. I say, what? Thank you, man. I celebrate. Message my father and thing, eh? Next thing, a day and a half after. Well, Mr. Roberts, we made a little error. You were really shortlisted but not selected. I say, no big thing, man. Thank you. When I go on the graduation in Center of Excellence at that time, you have all kind of different class. You have undergrad class from University of Sunderland. You have this class, that law class, this masters, that science, this BSc, all kind. About 7 different classes graduating. When I listened to the valedictorian from each class, every one of them had to say or said in the speech, I want to thank the government. This is the PNM government back then with Patrick Manning, Calder Hart, Uttara Rao, Andre Montai, all of them, Bacchanalian, Rowley, Renaissance, all of that, Alas Alturas, all of that going on. Brian Lara at Aruba Stadium. Each valedictorian got up and read out on the speech, I want to thank the government for gate funding, because without the gate funding, I would not have been able to complete my degree. And one after the next, they went on like that and say, oh, I now understand why they pulled me back, because somebody must tell them, but wait now, they don't listen to that man on the radio. He not going up there and saying nothing good about PNM. So they withdraw that. But that is just an aside. The point is that I eliminated the negativity, the blight, the discourse about failure, and moved in a positive direction and got through brilliantly. Trinidad and Tobago, as I say, everything is beautiful with our country, our people, our creativity. Merit is back. Our Prime Minister is loved across the board. But there is one thing that needs to be eliminated. There is one blight. As you see all the positivity and hopefulness and brilliance, intelligence, creativity across the board, you're then forced to see through the PNM fake news media. PNM. And you see incompetence, stupidity, division, asininity, race card. Imagine you have to listen to Amory Brown. Amory Lollipop Brown. The mere fact that your nickname as a man is Lollipop, you know something wrong. Amory Brown's whole life is a lie. Imagine that. He want to be a politician to rule y'all, to lead y'all. And he can't even be honest with himself. His life is a lie. Ask Amory Brown why they call him Lollipop. Why they call a man Lollipop in UE. Understand that. And then understand all the pretense and all the fake and all the lie. You live in a whole lie but want to come to talk to people and pretend you're talking the truth. Talking about foreign policy. When he was the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trinidad and Tobago for the first time in history had to get visa to go United Kingdom. The people who colonized us, the people who was letting we come in visa free, Rome, the PNM man who benefit from Randall Mitchell all across the place, in every show, every song, every production he do. He and all that to complain, but you can't say it's PNM. That Amory Brown we have to listen to, that clown who was in charge of the debate, the opposition response to the budget, to make sure that the government account, and he sat down there like a mama pool at lack of testicular fortitude, could not get up to contribute. Swarat Singh, Minister Swarat Singh asked him, but boy, you want to talk? Nah, if I have something to tell you, I will get up. That Amory Brown, that clown, that disrespectful imps, that total failure, that though cannot even stand up and say he can't stand Stuart Young, cannot stand up and say he can't stand Rowley because he's a mama pool. Imagine you in this country have to listen to he, because PNM fake news media, CNC3, Guardian Media Limited, Express, Newsday, radio stations. Imagine Guardian newspaper say, oh, we're doing well. They make our next 14.2 million loss. They make 2.5 million loss bigger than last year. And they put it on the chairman signing that and saying, well, we organizationally strong. The Guardian is the guardian of Rowley's K-Pax, Small Pen K-Pax, PNM K-Pax. The BLIGHT is the PNM. Yes, you've defeated them and kept them down into opposition. But you must go one step further. You must extricate the PNM totally. Some youth man, somebody come and form a party and get rid of the PNM because no right-thinking person could support the PNM. The PNM is the blight on Trinidad and Tobago that needs to be removed from Tobago, kept out of Trinidad. Imagine Rowley coming to say, he who was Prime Minister for 9.5 years, he who was Minister of Government since 1991, Minister of Marine Affairs and so on, never do one thing for Tobago. When something was happening for Tobago at a hospital, the material reached all wrong by he. That is Rowley, that nastiness, that man who couldn't even take care of Tobago, coming to say when Kamla Persad grants Tobago immediately an export license to deal with Studley Park Quarry, Rowley jumping to say no big deal. Rowley, when Tobagonians reject a Tobagonian, it means that you're a total, complete failure, Rowley. So that is it. Tobago has gotten rid of the PNM blight forever. We in Trinidad must leave it there, eliminate it, and even eliminate it from opposition. Imagine you have to listen to Penelope Beckers who don't know whether she's coming or going. Or Marvin Gonzalez, a man who take water from people. 62% of the population lost water under Marvin Gonzalez 24/7 supply. You have to listen to Faris Al-Rawi who went to the cabinet and recused himself 100 times and benefit to the tune of $145 million while he was in government. You ought to listen to that. The PNM is the blight. Trinidad and Tobago is great without the PNM. It's fantastic without the PNM. It's moving forward without the PNM. Across the board, garbage men, people working, positivity, great work, everybody moving forward, intelligence, brilliance. But then there's the PNM. Simple thing. Solve it. Extricate the blight. Do a jarry. Wash out the country with blue soap and a palm leaf with salt water. Get rid of the blight that is the PNM. Trinidad and Tobago will be upward ever, forward ever, backward never. Once we eliminate the PNM from our tapestry, from our conscience, from our spirit. Lollipop! Tell the people why they call you Lollipop. Hey, Emery Brown, tell me now. Kijan, you know.